Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 37. Today Mom is going to share how you can teach your children the Proverbs in fun ways that'll hopefully stick with them with the rest of their life. So without further ado, we'll turn it over to Mom.
All right, well, it's good to be back, and I want this to be as practical as possible. It won't be very long, but Proverbs is just chock full of wisdom for life, and it just will help your children to avoid snares and temptations and help them to discern good friends. And so we're going to talk about that, how you can make use of this and teach it in a fun, practical way. And so, one of the earlier YouTube sessions, we talked about the three-legged stool and how if one leg is missing, the stool will fall over. And so, if you recall, the three legs on the stool of parenting is your example. The second is teaching. And the third is prayer, just leaning on the Lord for wisdom and guidance as you parent, as you mother these blessings that God has given you. So let's dive into Proverbs now. Proverbs has 31 chapters, and like today is you can choose the date. Today we're recording this on May 11th, and so we would dive into Proverbs 11. So I would encourage you to give them each a spiral notebook and some crayons or colored pencils for younger kids, and go through ahead of time, choose a principle or a concept in that proverb chapter for the day, and then you can, in fun ways and ways that involve them, make it maybe a really cemented in their minds, and that they can really grab on to that concept. So you can explain, we would encourage you to explain unfamiliar words, and also if you've got young children, elementary school, use activity. They like to act things out, and you can do that. And have the children draw pictures. You can give them each a spiral notebook to draw pictures that illustrate the wisdom in that verse. Also have an older child, maybe, or the parent, read the verse, but after they've already heard it and heard the wisdom, read the verse but leave out some words and see if the children can fill in the blanks and raise their hand and say, I know what those words are. So that get them participating. We want them to be involved and eager to learn wisdom. But before we jump into some illustrations on how that can work out in your teaching for certain proverbs, I'm going to give you a proverb for parents. You know, it says in Proverbs 3:11 and 12, My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary at his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he corrects, even as a parent, or it says here, father, the son in whom he delights. So when you correct your children, check yourself first what your motive are. Are you tired? Are you frustrated? Are you angry? Don't correct them in those with those attitudes. That stings, and it's not nurturing. It's hurting. So take some time to check your own motives and make sure you're coming from the standpoint of wanting them to be successful and to avoid regret in their life in the future. Okay, here's some examples. Let's take some Proverbs here. Proverbs 22:1 says, A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver or gold. So I think ahead of time you can make each child have a piece of paper, a big piece of paper, and have each child's name written in big letters that have openness in it, so that they can color in and make their name look good. And as you're talking about the good name, they can be coloring that in. And then when they're done, they can put that above their bed or in their room or on the refrigerator. They want to have a good name. You might prepare ahead of time another name of not anybody that they would know, an unusual name, but with ink blots and dirt and smudges all over it, and tell them that, what does this indicate about that person? And you can talk about how a bad reputation, someone that makes foolish choices, has bad habits, that leaves you with blots and smudges, and it's not a good thing for people to see. So you can do that. And also Proverbs 1:10 and verse 15, it says, "My son, if sinners lure you, consent thou not. Do not walk in the way with them. Keep back your foot from their path." And that's important, because there's going to be a lot of friends that want to do something that's not good, and they'll want to try to lure you into that. So act this out. Show a danger of a foolish friend trying to pull your child and trying to talk them into doing something wrong, and have them get into consequences, and also have them act out avoiding that and not consenting to it, and instead choosing the right path. So act things out. It kind of sticks in their mind a little bit more. Another verse is, "A wise son hears his father's instruction, but a scorner hears not rebuke." So have them, the younger children, say, "A wise son." They're going to be cupping their ears and wanting to understand why they were needing to be corrected or what the wisdom is. And it says a scorner, and explain that word: someone that doesn't delight in wisdom, doesn't want to listen to correction, and have them cover their ears and make a big frown, and they don't want to be a scorner. And you can have them draw a picture about that in their spiral notebook. Another thing, Proverbs 6:6-11 talks about, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise." And so you can talk more about the verses following that, describing the ant. And what you might have fun doing is explain what a sluggard is. And it comes from the word slug. And we all know how slugs just are slow moving. And also you can find videos of that on the internet. You also might want to find a video of a sloth moving. They're so slow. And then talk about how it's hard to slow an ant down, because they're active and they're ready to go and they're working hard. So let the children act out, give them a job and act out like doing it like a sluggard, like a slug or a sloth, and they have them do it slow motion, and then say, "Okay, now let's do it like an ant," and let them act that out fast and happy, and just the difference in their mood and their difference in the results.
Okay, and for the next episode, Mom is going to share about how you as a parent can identify your child's unique skills and talents and interests, and how you can cultivate and invest in those with them. So stay tuned for next time. We'll look forward to seeing you back then.
So long.
Bye.